Hello and welcome back, my gorgeous, thriving souls. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Kelly again, your host for Rise Within, and I'm just so excited. Today, there's some really good themes and some good reminders, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. So, the very first theme that I was getting was don't fall for it. And so I thought this was interesting. It was really a interesting peek into kind of your conscience, also people in your vicinity, also potentially distractions or media that is, on the larger scale. But all of it was a reminder that you know yourself the best, and that no matter what someone is trying to tell you, if it doesn't sound right, don't let them tell you anything, especially when it comes to yourself. It was very you don't know me vibes. So this was a reminder to know thyself, a reminder to lean into the fact that you know yourself best. And no matter what anyone says, even if it's coming from within your own thoughts, because Lord knows that right now, especially, there's so much manipulation happening at scale within the collective. There's so much manipulation through media and through messaging and through propaganda. And when we factor all of these things in, you might start to wonder, something about me? Is this me? Should I, am I like that? So just lean into knowing yourself. You know yourself. You know what you hold close to your heart. You know that how you feel about things, and if you don't know, then think about it and journal on it until you do. But don't let other people tell you, and don't fall for it. So that's part of the idea of being steadfast in yourself and not getting sucked into external narratives, not getting sucked into believing something that maybe a friend or a coworker or a parent or a sibling says. Just because they said that doesn't make it true. Know thyself. Okay, so I thought that was an interesting one. That was very macro, micro. It was kind of, all these different levels that I could see it happening in many different ways. So interesting. Okay. The next theme is about being called to truly anchor into the present moment. So many of us right now, we are maybe ruminating, thinking about things that have happened in the past. We are looking forward, maybe making plans for the future, but we are being asked for right now, for this time, to center in and be present right here and now. Anchor into the here and now. And for some people, that means they need to have a physical reminder. Sometimes I have something that I will hold, and so I have this on my desk right now, holding it and using my five senses. If I have if you pick up a rock outside, if you have a stone, if you have a pencil that has different, have one of these two. So you have a pen, just something that you can hold and give your five senses to. So what do I feel? What does this feel like? It's bumpy on one side, it's smooth on the other. It's cold, it's a little bit hard. It makes my third eye burn. This one always does. The one stone that I'm holding always does. What do I smell right now? What do I feel on my skin? Am I outside? Am I inside? What do I see in front of me? What do I taste? And so sometimes this is this can be an exercise that people use to kind of ground themselves back when they're getting a little bit dissociated and they're having some anxiety. So asking yourself how to be more present in the present moment, in the here and now, when you're just getting a little bit spun out. Maybe you're thinking of things far in the future. Maybe you're ruminating on the past, like we said. So these are different ways that you can just bring yourself into the here and now. There's another suggestion here that taking a bath with salts in it will also bring you into that place, or even doing a float pod, which is extremely salty water if you've ever done that. So there's a hydro float pod that's actually in my area locally. It's in one of the studios that I used to do breath work. And this float pod was really cool. And you went in it and there was lights and they played a little music at first, and then the water was so incredibly salt heavy that you floated on the top. So it wasn't just a float because you were, doing floating. It was, you couldn't sink because the water had such a crazy amount of salt in it. So doing something like that, usually it's putting you in a meditative state. So allowing presence for here and now. Okay, so that's another suggestion that came through with that one. I'm just going to glance at my notes really quick too. Okay, so this next theme is about asking for help. If you're struggling with something, or if you think that you need a little bit of help getting unstuck, if you can't figure out your next step, ask for help. So this is asking you to maybe go outside of your comfort zone. Maybe asking for help isn't something that you've always been comfortable doing. I know for me, that was totally true. I hated asking for help. And especially when I was a nurse on the floor, I would hate it. I was like, I needed help. I needed help to move my patients. I needed help for a million things. And it was a exercise in asking and asking and asking because I had to. And so right now, if you are in this place where you feel like you need an extra point of view, you need to talk something out with someone, you need to be able to figure out what your next step is. Like we said, asking a friend, asking a mentor, asking someone who you feel like has maybe been in that position before, or understanding additionally that you are never alone. You are never alone. And the feeling that you are alone or being told that you're alone is never true. You are divinely guided. You have ancestors upon ancestors. You have angelic beings. Like, there are just so many layers of divinity that encircle and support and uplift each and every one of us. And so whether you say God or source or the universe, say it out loud. Ask for what you need. Because if you are there, then it's okay. It's okay to ask. So that was a little touching on just getting into the practice of asking if you need it. And then last but not least, being in a place for moving forward, staying present and centered, is also a practice in regulation. So regulating your nervous system. The most powerful person in the room, and I know that I've said this before, is the most regulated person in the room. The most powerful person in the room is the person who can think, make a decision, be able to not be emotionally swayed quickly, and be able to have a practice to ground themselves when the moment is needed. So in a moment of crisis or just an everyday moment, you still are so much more powerful than the person beside you who is dissociating or freaking out or unable to make a choice because they feel really frazzled. You are so much more powerful when you are regulated. And one of the things that we are doing here recently at Rise Within is we made a quiz, which is all about which is your regulation profile. So regulation profile being the way that you are most quickly regulated or that resonates the most deeply within you. And this quiz is something that we have on our website. If you go to synergythrive.org/quiz, you can find that out just for you. So I would recommend to go check that out if you want to know what your regulation profile is. And for me, I think that knowing all the different regulation profiles is so helpful because in the moment that I take the quiz, I know what helps me right then. And it also just gives me further insight into on a day when I am feeling in a different mood or needing something different, that there's something else I can do. Only you can answer these questions. Only you can be the one to know for sure what makes you the most regulated, what resonates with you. No one else can tell you that. Everybody can give you these different options of how to do these things, and you can follow a guru and say, oh my gosh, this is always going to work for everybody, and maybe it will, except one person might always, actually, not might, one person always will be in a different state of mind, in a different state of being, in a different need, depending if they are really stressed and in a frozen state, or really like having emotions stuck in their body that haven't processed yet. Like, all of those things are different scenarios, which are leading to you being able to choose which one is going to work for you, and in that moment, and in that time of the day, what you need. So figuring that out for you is exactly what I am here to support with, and I'm happy to do so. So check that out. And last but not least, just knowing that there are such big energetic waves coming through in this time period right now that are really throwing people off. So people are feeling more on edge. Some people are consuming a lot of media. Some people are digging deeply into a lot of the different truths that are being revealed and feeling overwhelmed by it. And this is happening at society, in the collective, at scale as well. And when we know that, it's also a good idea just to remind yourself that being present, being regulated, being true in your own self is more important than ever, because there is so much happening and time is spinning really quickly right now. So centering in, knowing your power, and trusting in yourself is more important than ever. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next episode.